Psych perspectives, let's discuss Afrika Bambattaa and the molestation, child abuse, sexual assault allegations against him. And I'm also going to be discussing Hassan Campbell, one of the alleged victims of Afrika Bambattaa. Now, again, if you see my other video where I'm discussing Dr. Umar Johnson in the Black conscious community, in the Black community, go check that out, right? Because I discuss some perspectives as well as my opinions on the Black community and the Black conscious community. Go check out my other videos where I'm discussing sexual assault, sexual abuse, child molestation, and these grown men and women and these people who are allegedly abusing people, sexually abusing, sexually assaulting, and whatnot. Check those videos out first to kind of get an understanding of where I'm going with this, okay? Psych perspectives. You already know, light up the joint, because we are about to talk about some horrible things, and you need something to cope. Cheers. Okay. First of all, Afrika Bambattaa is, a hip-hop pioneer, okay? A hip-hop legend, an icon in the hip-hop rap music game, okay? Planet Rock. Okay, like, seriously, everybody in the late 70s, early 80s was pop locking and break dancing and shaking that ass to Planet Rock, okay? Matter of fact, I kind of got to get into the mood for this, right? Because I want people to understand who Afrika Bambattaa is, right? Because, again, you heard Planet Rock. You've had to hear it at least once in your lifetime. And Planet Rock is like I said, this is hip hop legendary status. Okay? About to play it.
Party people, they don't get funky. Suicidal folks, they don't get funky. The Zulu Nation, they don't get funky. Yeah, just hit me.
Hey, you can't listen. Hey, everybody and their mama was out there in the bitch. Okay, so that's that, okay? You've heard it at least once or twice, trust me. So he's the creator of that, okay? B-boy stance, everybody break dancing and getting their funk on. Okay, that's Afrika Bambattaa, okay? And Soul Sonic Force, Planet Rock. So let's get into the allegations of Afrika Bambattaa's 3 alleged sexual assault victims speak out, and they say there are several others. Now, this is off of spin.com. Links will be in the description box below. Okay? So Vice published a feature about 3 men who claimed last spring that Afrika Bambattaa, the founder of the Zulu Nation and rapper behind Planet Rock, sexually abused them when they were teenagers. Afrika Bambattaa denied the accusation shortly after they made rounds in various publications, but the article revealed that the once respected figure has gone silent and disappeared into whereabouts unknown. About psych perspectives. Here's a perspective. If you're innocent, you feel me? If you're innocent, why would you run off and disappear? Why would you not come out publicly and address the allegations and state you're innocent and express your innocence? It just seems odd that if I'm innocent, I'm innocent. These are allegations that are being held against me, and I'm the innocent one, and I'm the one running away and going into hiding? Hell no. I'm going to be on all the social medias, all the blog posts, all the radio stations telling everybody that I did not do anything to these kids or to these men, right? So it just seems strange, right? That's one perspective. Another perspective is he's old, he's an older man. I haven't heard Afrika Bambattaa in years. I mean, the only way I know about him is through Planet Rock. It's not like, we hear about him on social media or, making new music or producing music or anything. I don't hear shit. So maybe he's just kind of like, what the hell? I don't know how to deal with this. I'm too old for this. I'm not even going to address it. That's another perspective, In the piece, the 3 accusers, 50-year-old Ron Savage, 39-year-old Hassan Poppy Campbell, and a man only identified as Troy, talk about how Bambattaa allegedly took advantage of their trust and left them with psychological scars after continued sexual abuse. The article also likens the systemic corruption of the Zulu Nation to the Catholic Church scandal. Both abused vulnerable boys from broken homes and sought to keep the abuse a secret through community influence and bankrolling its members. That's some sick, perverted, disgusting shit. Similar to the R. Kellys, the Jay-Z situation, the Charlemagne situation, the Drake situation, and mind you, all of this is allegations. None of this is approved. So these are allegedly incidences of abuse that took place with these celebrities. But it's so disgusting because this seems to be the trend. People get powerful. They already, 9 times out of 10, Afrika Bambattaa probably was a victim of sexual abuse himself, because that seems to be the trend. Hurt people. So people who are abused, unfortunately, have the potential of becoming abusers themselves. And that's what's so sickening about it. But anyways, people get money, power, and respect, and then they abuse it. And they use it to their advantage to exploit and abuse others. And in this case, allegedly, Afrika Bambattaa used his money and power and his friend group, his network, the Zulu Nation, the community. He used all of that to his advantage to allegedly abuse young boys, young men. And the Zulu Nation is being accused of being just as corrupt and disgusting as the Catholic Church scandals, with the priests molesting and raping young boys. Right. The organization also allegedly set out death threats to keep its victims quiet. Hassan Campbell recalled that he made a Facebook video in 2015 accusing Bambaataa of molesting him. The threats came when the video resurfaced after Savage appeared on DJ Star's YouTube channel to expose Bambaataa. Again, if you want to read the rest of this, you can, okay? If you don't know who Hassan Campbell is, he is one of the alleged victims of Afrika Bambattaa. He was sexually abused as a teenager, preteen, teenager, young child, kid. It happened to him multiple times, not only by Afrika Bambattaa, but by other abusers, allegedly. And he's on YouTube. He's still on YouTube. I'm going to leave a link to his video in the description box below. And of course, with a link to his video, you'll be able to check out his other videos. But he's been addressing sexual abuse, molestation, rape in the Black community, and of course, dealing with Afrika Bambattaa and him being an alleged victim. Now there's a lot of issues around Hassan Campbell, and I'll probably do a video on Hassan Campbell later. I don't want to take away from the gist of this. Okay, we're talking about sexual abuse. Again, this is the trend, and I said this in the other videos. It just seems like when they're looking for victims, when they're preying on the community and they're looking at victims, these molesters, these sexual predators, they know what they're doing. This is well calculated. Regardless if they were victims of abuse themselves, it doesn't negate the fact that they're now abusing people and they know right from wrong, okay? These people are sick because it's like, this is well calculated. They know the type of victims that they're going for. The article even stated, I was a victim of child abuse and I know what I went through and what happened to me. Speaking from a personal level, I know what they're doing. They're going for if it's dealing with youth and teenagers and children and people under the age of 18, they're going for people who come from broken homes, single parent homes. Father is not in the figure. There is no, male role model isn't present. No, there's no man in the house. There's no men around. That doesn't necessarily mean that if there are men that they'll be protected, but more than likely this is the case. It's a mother, it's an aunt, it's a sister, it's a grandmother trying to raise a kid or kids by themselves. They see that and they see the perfect scenario to come in and play this hero. I'm just helping this family. I'm just a mentor. These kids look up to me. Yeah, it's the perfect MO for them to play into so they can exploit your ass and abuse you. Have you doing sexual things, sexual acts way before your time, no consent, you don't even know what's going on, or you might know what's going on, but at the end of the day, you're not supposed to have this grown-ass man or this grown-ass woman or this grown-ass person doing this to you, okay? We go to another article off of Rolling Stone. Zulu Nation apologizes to alleged Afrika Bambattaa abuse victims. Link to this will be in the description box below. We extend our deepest and most sincere apologies to many people who have been hurt by the actions of Afrika Bambattaa, organization says. Okay, for the Zulu Nation to come out and condemn Afrika Bambattaa, clearly something took place. Clearly something happened. Because why else would the organization that he founded come out, address him in this way, in this manner, unless there are truths in this situation? All right. The Universal Zulu Nation has issued a new open letter apologizing to the alleged victims of sexual abuse perpetrated by their founder, Afrika Bambattaa. The organization also apologized to Ronald B. Stinger Savage and Hassan Poppy Campbell, two Bambaataa accusers who were subjected to unjust and inexcusable attacks on their characters and official statements by our organization when they chose to speak the truths. We hear you, we believe you, and we stand with you. And that's from the Zulu Nation, Universal Zulu Nation. Okay, so for them to come out and say that, I personally, now this is just my personal opinion, I personally believe the allegations. I believe that Afrika Bambattaa was sexually abusing children in his community around him. He was exploiting kids and he was taking advantage of them. He sexually abused Hassan Campbell, and he sexually abused Ronald Savage, and he probably sexually abused many other people. Okay, now I'm gonna read the official apology from the Zulu Nation. On the behalf of the members of the Universal Zulu Nation worldwide who have made their voices heard through their chapter leaders, we extend our deepest and most sincere apologies to the many people who have been hurt by the actions of Afrika Bambattaa and the subsequent poor response of our organization to allegations leveled against him. The Zulu Nation said in a statement signed by dozens of Universal Zulu Nation chapter leaders worldwide. Okay? Again, I believe things took place. I believe there was sexual assault and abuse. To the survivors of apparent sexual molestation by Bambaataa, both those who have come forward and those who have not, we are sorry for what you endured and extend our thanks to those who have spoken out for your bravery in bringing the light that which most of us were sadly unaware of and others chose not to disclose. Most of us were sadly unaware of and others chose not to disclose, which means people knew within the Zulu Nation or within that network what Afrika Bambattaa was already doing. They knew this for years. They knew this for decades. So this is not surprising. Again, when you look at the R. Kelly situation, people knew what R. Kelly was about. People knew what Afrika Bambattaa was about. And going to these parents, you know me, gotta show all various perspectives. These parents are just as guilty or should have some type of responsibility in the sexual abuse of their children. And the reason why I say this is because at the end of the day, you are putting your children in harm's way. You are literally leaving your children in the devil's playground, because it's really ridiculous that people allow their kids to just be with every and anybody. On the flip side, another perspective. It's sad that we have to look at everybody as if they're going to be potential sexual predators. But looking through history repeats itself. Sooner or later, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So sooner or later, you got to judge. If you want to protect your children, you have to have a judge of character. But at the same time, perspective, sexual abusers and sexual predators, most people who are doing these wrongful acts, they have a certain persona about them. They know how to gain people's trust. They know how to get close and attach and build community, and they build such great rapport to the point where people are going to look at them. No one's going to believe that Afrika Bambattaa, the founder of the Universal Zulu Nation, Planet Rock, would actually be out here doing this. Because people are going to do this. They're going to go back and they're going to listen. I go back and think, oh no, but you have again, stop putting these celebrities on pedestals. Stop putting them on pedestals. Stop treating them like gods. Stop worshiping them. They are everyday people. They are humans, and they make mistakes. Every time we put them on these pedestals, people cannot know how to deal with the fact that these motherfuckers have done wrong. Then what really pisses me off, again, about the Black community in particular, of course, it's not just the Black community, it's the community, it's people in general. But as a Black person, I feel Hassan Poppy Campbell's viewpoint, okay? I feel Ronald Savage. I feel you, because the Black community is constantly sweeping shit like this under the rug. We have so many predators and abusers in our communities that are in the family, at the church, at the liquor store, and friends, and we know it, who they are. We allow them to still be in the community, abusing our children, our people. It's ridiculous. This is what's happening. I'll leave links to this stuff in the description box below. I personally do believe that Afrika Bambattaa actually assaulted and abused kids and young boys. I do believe it personally, but there's various perspectives. He could have actually just been trying to help out the community, trying to be a mentor, a role model to young Black boys or young Black and brown boys of color. He probably could have done that. And for the Universal Zulu Nation to come out and actually address and make an official statement apologizing to the victims, I believe it happened. Links will be in the description box below. But in the meantime, Bambaataa is still out here roaming around doing him. So who's to say he's not out here continuing to abuse people? Or, Psych perspective, who's to say he's not repenting and he's remorseful and he's trying to right his wrongs and make amends, and he needs to get help. He needs to get help, because sexually abusing people isn't right regardless of age. You shouldn't be assaulting and abusing people. He needs to get help. In the meantime, you still need to be held accountable for what you did. So why is it 2019? These allegations going on for years. Headways in 2015 and 2016. It's been years though since these allegations have been out, yet Afrika Bambattaa, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's on the radio, the Breakfast Club, entertainment world, the social media world, of people, Ronald Savage and Hassan Campbell. And of course the people that are making videos about Hassan Campbell. But seriously, personally believe it happened. We'll make another video on Hassan Campbell later, but I personally think it happened. I think Afrika Bambattaa needs to be brought to justice. He needs to be held accountable. Yes, thank you to the Zulu Nation for saying sorry. At the end of the day, you need to also be held accountable for what you did, and Afrika Bambattaa needs to be brought to justice.